My political, economic, and social philosophy is black nationalism. You and as I say, if we bring up religion, we'll have differences, we'll have arguments, we'll never be able to get together. But if we keep our religion at home, keep our religion in the closet, keep our religion between ourselves and our God, but when we come out here, we have a fight that's common to all of us against the enemy who is common to all of us. The political philosophy of black nationalism only means that the black man should control the politics and the politicians in his own community. The time when white people can come in our community and get us to vote for them so that they can be our political leaders and tell us what to do and what not to do is long gone. By the same token, the time when that same white man, knowing that your eyes are too far open, can send another Negro into the community, get you and me to support him so he can use him to lead us astray, those days are long gone. The political philosophy of black nationalism only means that if you and I are going to live in a black community, and that's where we're going to live, because as soon as you move into as soon as you move out of the black community into their community, it's mixed for a period of time, but they're gone, and you're right there all by yourself. We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what politics is supposed to produce. We must know what part politics play in our lives. And until we become politically mature, we will always be misled, led astray, or deceived or maneuvered into supporting someone politically who doesn't have the good of our community at heart. So the political philosophy of black nationalism only means that we will have to carry on a political program of re-education to open our people's eyes, make us become more politically conscious, politically mature. And then we will, whenever we get ready to cast our ballot, that ballot will be cast for a man of the community who has the good of the community at heart. And the economic philosophy of black nationalism only means that we should own and operate and control the economy of our community. You can't open up a black store in a white community. White man won't even patronize you. And he's not wrong. He got sense enough to look out for himself. And you who don't have sense enough to look out for yourself. The white man is too intelligent to let someone else come and gain control of the economy of his community. But you will let anybody come in and control the economy of your community, control the housing, control the education, control the jobs, control the businesses under the pretext that you want to integrate. No, you're out of your mind. The economic philosophy of black nationalism only means that we have to become involved in a program of re-education to educate our people into the importance of knowing that when you spend your dollar out of the community in which you live, the community in which you spend your money becomes richer and richer. The community out of which you take your money becomes poorer and poorer. And because these Negroes who have been misled, misguided, are breaking their necks to take their money and spend it with the man is becoming richer and richer, and you're becoming poorer and poorer. And then what happens? The community in which you live becomes a slum. It becomes a ghetto. The conditions become run down. And then you have the audacity to complain about poor housing in a rundown community. Why, you run it down yourself when you take your dollar.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on? You got ripped off, real black gentlemen. Consider chick. Shouts out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all coming on here. And I ain't gonna be on here long today, you know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to come on, y'all let me know in the chat and then I'll put the link out because I think that's really the only way I can get through this without it being crazy long because I can't do those crazy long ones, especially not right now. You know what I'm saying? And so but I did just want to go through a couple things. And even though this isn't like the most serious, it's a couple of things that I kind of wanted to put out there and see what y'all had to say about it too. So now I know y'all heard that that song, Friends, how many of us have them? Oh yeah, like I mean like 4, 5 hours, 3 hours and all that, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to go through some other stuff. That's why I try not to be too late today, you know what I'm saying? But the song Friends, how many of us have them? And apparently we think we got a lot, but I don't know, man. We're gonna learn sooner or later that we don't. So let me go through this so it's not super long, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, if y'all want to come on here, just let me know in the chat and then I will put the link in the chat if y'all want to come on here. All right. And the last one wasn't long. It was like 1 hour, maybe it wasn't bad. All right, so first, and we're gonna get back to this kind of thing, but we was talking about the medical thing, and like this is what they saying about your skin, especially like the white bitches who be in the emergency rooms, and we gonna kind of get back to it, but I'm gonna start with this one, because this is something that we do gotta face when it comes to like the medical stuff,
So this was a comment that was left on one of my Instagram videos. It reads, "Black skin is definitely thicker than white. I'm a nurse and give injections every day. You can feel the difference as the needle goes in. This is also why..."
Yo, what's that? I ain't see what about Cardi B, but it's something about this topic right here about the nurses and stuff.
You can feel the difference as the needle goes in. This is also why black people age way better. First of all, that's false. There is no difference in skin thickness based on your race. Just because you have black skin does not mean you have thicker skin. But what scares me the most is that these types of thoughts by healthcare professionals still exist, and they impact the way that patients get treated.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. The no friends thing. And you know who one of our best friends is these white bitches out here, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to play that because they also like be like, they don't believe in that we feel pain and all of this stuff, and then we still have the energy. I don't know where this energy come from to still sit here and complain and find out why. And instead of just realizing, man, like, yeah, I don't want this white bitch to be my nurse who think my skin is thick, so and I don't have like pain receptors. You know what I'm saying? Right. They will never change. Exactly, consider. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get back to, what I'm saying, our best friend, the white bitch, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna play this, I know Bakari not in the chat right now, but I'll play this. If somebody want to have something to say about a white school and a teacher who got fired for teaching about Black history in a white university, right? So at Palm Beach Atlantic University in Florida, and this is about critical race theory and all of that stuff.
New tonight, a local professor's job status now under review after teaching students about racial justice for years at Palm Beach Atlantic University. Tara Jakeway spoke exclusively tonight with a professor and several of his outraged students.
Dr. Sam Jokel has been an English professor at Palm Beach Atlantic University for more than 21 years. On Wednesday, after a class, he discusses racial justice. He says the dean and the provost were waiting for him.
The dean handed me an envelope and told me that my contract renewal is delayed pending an investigation of the material that I use
Dr. Jokl says he's taught the subject for more than a decade, asking students to interpret facts and compose their thoughts in essay form.
The only way it's changed is it's accumulated more details.
But if the syllabus isn't approved after 2 decades at the university, Dr. Jokl would be let go.
I was told that the concern is that I'm indoctrinating students.
He says he fears the review is due to the weight of outside politics. Governor Ron DeSantis is proposing changes in
They had the one black student walk past the sign when they were shooting.
diversity and equity programs in public universities. While PBAU is private, Dr. Jokl says he has never veered off track in his teachings. We reached out to Palm Beach Atlantic University for comment. A spokesperson replied saying, quote, "I'm advised we cannot comment on a personnel matter."
Indoctrinating students goes against every educational bone in my body. You ask any student who has ever been in one of my classes for the last 20 years.
So we did.
As a professor, he's been absolutely wonderful. I mean, he always supported all of our ideas in class. He made sure he gave equal voice and equal weight.
He's the professor that I feel most comfortable saying whatever I need to in that class.
The support from students didn't stop there. When Jokl shared the situation on social media, he was shocked at the response.
I have received hundreds of messages from students that I barely remember from 15 years ago, and they're saying, "We stand with you on this."
Dr.
All right. Before y'all make this dude John Brown, I'm gonna stop it here, right? And yeah, consider it, they definitely make certain things a priority more so than others, right? And one thing that they're going to do is gatekeep their culture. That's like one thing. Like I know black people are like don't understand that at all. We just gonna like argue with them about it, but they definitely is going to gatekeep their universities. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important for us to gatekeep our universities too. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, right, non-black students, you know what I'm saying? And you know, they probably just teach them the BS, you know what I'm saying? But all he just said was like, you know, black people have been oppressed. He don't really teach about black history at all. You know, he probably don't know nothing about black history, to be honest with you. But just because he mentioned it and what's going on right now, they gonna fire this white boy because they're gonna make sure that everybody stays in line with the system that they are producing, right? It don't matter what this white boy is, his intentions or none of that, right? He just gonna lose his job because they understand how the system works. You know, that's why you protect the curriculums that you have. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want your students to feel a certain type of way and to get you know, if you want your students to get off this love everybody kind of curriculum, and you know, it's the, you know, uniting with the peoples around the world, and you know, love for the white bitches and love for, you know, everything that's not themselves, you know, you definitely gonna want to educate your own children in your own schools because obviously they're going to do the same thing, right? And that's what we understand about their schools, but we want our schools to help be a part of the process of developing the next generation who are scientists, and not talking about, well, I'm not a black astrophysicist, I'm just an astrophysicist, not just a black doctor. Well, no, like I'm a proud black man and I'm a doctor, you know what I'm saying? And if I start a practice to help black people, then so be it, you know. Yo, what's going on, Bakari? He said we're gonna love them. Yo, what up, Bakari? We talking about these white schools. The white dude got fired from the white school for talking about black oppression, and black people got oppressed, you know what I'm saying, Bakari? So, you know, I just wanted to put that out there. And like I said, man, if y'all want to jump on and have something to say, y'all can definitely come on there and say something about anything on here. But yeah, we definitely need to learn about like these friends that we think that we have, because we don't have these poor whites, the white bitches, you know, all these other groups, the Asians, the East Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? Well, no, the East Arabs, you know what I'm saying? The West Mexicans, or however I put it, you know what I'm saying? Like we have no friends at the end of the day, right? But we still, like Malcolm X was saying, we the only group of people that'll let somebody else come in and set up shop in the middle of our communities. You know what I'm saying? And don't say nothing about it. Ain't nobody gonna let you just set up shop in the middle. Go to Chinatown and open up a damn shop if you want to, right? And they gonna stay on code and do what they have to do as far as their schools, you know what I'm saying, are concerned. But as far as friends are concerned with us, I wanted to show this dude here, right? It was this Arab dude here, Aqil Akbar Khan, or whatever his name is, right? And look what he did to this brother, right? And now this happened in December, right? And they just charged him in March for this, right? But check out what he did to this brother. Because I know that we think we have friends and we let everybody come over, and set up shop in our communities. Because I think about it, like, black people like, oh, I ain't going to the hood this, I ain't going to the hood that. But you know who is going to the hood? These Asians, these Arabs, all of these people is going to the hood. And that's one thing that we're not doing, you know what I'm saying? We're not doing business with ourselves, but these are the people that we support, that we communicate with. But you know what? We don't got no smoke for them, you know what I'm saying? And they have all the smoke in the world for us, My fault for this super long ad, but this is the only way. It's not even like on the news like that. But check out what this dude did. And he did this back in December.
A gruesome crime in Fremont involving two neighbors. One man is suspected of running over his neighbor with a car 6 times. He was already charged with attempted homicide. Now he's also being charged with a hate crime. A warning here, the surveillance footage you're about to see is graphic. Here's NBC's Emma Goss.
Surveillance video from December 2021 shows the gruesome attack. Police say 45-year-old Corey Brown, a black man, was run over 6 times by his neighbor at the Laguna Commons apartments on Fremont Boulevard.
I kept hearing this strange, ugh.
Another neighbor and Brown's friend remembers rushing to help during the traumatic incident. For her safety, we are not showing her face.
I went down the parking lot and the man in the white car proceeded to run him over again. And I said, stop, you're going to kill him. And that's when he took off out the parking lot.
Now, 15 months later, the suspect, 45-year-old Aqil Khan, is being...
Now, listen, man, because this is this Arab stuff that's going on. And I get that, like, listen, man, and I don't want to even take it down the religious thing, because Malcolm X said, we need to put our religions to the side. But when we keep thinking that these other people is our friends, and then let alone, even if we know that they're not our friends and we let them set up shop inside of our communities, like, what do you think is going to happen? But they will never let you do any kind of thing inside their communities. This is why you have to be vigilant about gatekeeping your areas, especially in the time that we are in right now.
Being charged with a hate crime.
We are here to right a great wrong.
Khan is currently being held at Santa Rita Jail on charges of attempted homicide and assault with a deadly weapon.
The Fremont police were very adamant that we look at this case and ensure that it was properly charged.
That second look revealed that Khan had also...
Yeah, and it's crazy because they always got to take months and months. We got to make sure that we get the proper charges in it. But let it be you. They can find those charges real quick the other way around. But it's to be expected because there is no consequences.
Also vandalized Brown's car with racial slurs, made racist threats, and had previously attempted physical assault.
So there was clear evidence of racial animus by Mr. Khan targeted towards Mr. Brown.
This is the second time Khan has been charged with an assault and hate crime.
Now, is he Mexican or Arab? You tell me.
In August 2021, at Fremont's Central Park, Khan is suspected of berating a woman of Indian descent for speaking Hindi, then punching her in the face until she lost consciousness before throwing her phone into Lake Elizabeth. Both the woman and Brown are still recovering, and Brown considers himself lucky to be alive, the DA said.
Thank God he's okay. But it was very traumatic for me to watch that.
Brown declined to speak with us about the attack. The Alameda.
Now that brother, you know what I'm saying, survived it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it took months. No, well, it took like 4 months. This happened in December. Oh no, yeah, you right. 2021. She's right. 15 months. Yeah. So 15 months later, and you see the video of the dude running over him time and time again, right? And that's his neighbor, right? He also made repeated threats, but we already know what's going on here. So I mean, you know, this is a part of what happens when you let outsiders come in and you let everybody come into your community with no repercussions, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty crazy, you know. Hold on, y'all, because I think it's messing up. It won't even supposed to stop sharing. All right, so man, but yeah, yeah, that's if you don't think that all of these other groups that you think is like, oh, we need to unite with all of these other oppressed people over around the, bro, they go out of their way to separate themselves from you. They are bought in all the way. Like, you have no friends. If we can't even be friends with ourselves, right? There is no minority coalition that's going to come and help us. You know what I'm saying? Because like they said, man. So look, man, and this is another one. Black people at Chick-fil-A, you know what I'm saying? And he called the owner on Black fathers just for waiting for his food with his daughter. You know what I'm saying? And you know what side the cops and stuff is going to take. So
for police officers to approach a black man while he's with his...
We'll talk to you about outside.
Nah, he probably LBG, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just say that, you know what I'm saying, when we talk about this minority thing. Oh, yeah, all of these is the minorities and people of color that we always, because I notice every time we be like, well, yeah, well, this happened to black folks, this happened to black folks, and we got to do something about people of color being oppressed around the world. Yeah, these are the people of color, because it includes, like, you know, the East Mexicans, the West Arabs, you know what I'm saying, the gay dudes, you know what I'm saying, the white bitches, right? These is all your minority coalition here.
Actually called the police on me for waiting for my food?
No.
For what?
No. I'm not gonna talk.
I mean, for what though? I think we're not causing the scene. You're the only one calling it because you won't say why. You know my name.
I do.
How do you know my name? Yeah, come on.
He probably a mulatto brother or mulatto. What's up, Erica?
Because now you're making this an issue with my daughter with me. Okay. You know what? You know what? Do you know what it's like for police officers to approach a black man while he's with his daughter for some reason that somebody at Chick-fil-A decides to say is a reason, but they won't say what the reason is? Yeah, we'll go outside. We'll go outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely say a gay white dude. You know what I'm saying?
And we're told that her nuggets would need an extra minute. That is from Mr. I.C. Green on YouTube. They asked us to pull forward into a waiting spot that already had a black truck in it, and we did. 10 minutes go by, the black truck gets its food. We do not. I yelled toward the kid working the window, hey, we still haven't gotten our food yet, to which he brings me a gift card and says, it'll be another minute. White truck pulls next to us, and in the next 10 minutes, she gets her food, and we still don't get ours. This moment, I proceeded to drive around so we can go in and retrieve it. I see the manager speaking with two police officers and couldn't help but think, I wonder what's going on here. As I enter, I hold the door for the manager as he instructed the police officers to go around the building to where I was previously parked. My daughter had just had dance rehearsal for...
Now, yeah, I called the police, but they didn't know who each other was, and he was holding the door open for the dude. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just seen the gay white dude. We're going to say he's gay because it's talking about your friends and the minorities.
4 hours and was starving. The owner, Scott Reed, no relation to me, instructed his manager, the dude in the video with the suspenders and employees, to hold her food until he arranged for the police to interact with us.
All right, so yeah. All right, I'm going to skip it because there's all these things here, you know. All right, okay, so I'm going to go to the next thing, right? And then I'm going to put the link in the chat, right? Because then after this, yeah, I'm probably going to lose y'all because I want to show something else to go off with. So let me show y'all this, right? Because I did speak on this, and Cassandra did a good job of talking about it. Yeah, I know, man. I know, Erica. And we stay, and I wanted to talk about, because black people, as long as we get our chicken sandwich, you know what I'm saying, we sure is all right. We're gonna fight to be a part of their system. Like, I don't know if they'll do with the spending my food. I wouldn't feel comfortable giving this food to my daughter, right? But we sure is gonna fight to go be able to spend our money with these foods, right? So, all right, let me go to the next thing, right?
Recording just got better.
All right, so y'all are familiar with the reparation thing that's been happening. So I want you to hear like something this white bitch said about it.
Color are still harping. Let me get this straight. I'm trying to understand this. The people of color are still harping on getting reparations. $5 million each, not per family, each. Now, let's see if I got this right. There is nobody in the United States today that is taking a breath ever been a slave. Nor has anybody out there of any color ever been a slave owner. Just hadn't. So how are you entitled to reparations? I don't get it. Now, if I look back, if I look back far enough, my great grandpa worked in the cotton field for a black man. Ooh, yeah, he did. So does that make my great grandpa a slave?
Now, she's a white bitch, so she's probably lying here. Yeah, Cassandra. I don't know who this. Well, obviously, black people is always talking about us people of color and oppressed people around the world. So I guess that's who she's talking about, because I guess we say it so much now. But she's like, oh, my great granddaddy worked for a black man on the plantation, trying to insinuate the black man owned her granddaddy, which is probably like 99.7% sure that is a complete lie. You know what I'm saying? But, it's interesting. But let me keep playing it.
Possibly. But am I entitled to anything? Heck to the no. That didn't affect me one bit. I ain't entitled to squat. But I'm just trying to throw that out there. Trying to understand, and I don't get it. Because in my book, you ain't entitled to squat. Just like I'm not.
All right, so I'm pretty sure you can imagine there's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes of black people like, how could she have said this? I can't believe white bitches is so racist. It's 2023, y'all, and I can't believe this is happening. But one of those liberal people that black people be like, oh, he could be compared as a modern day John Brown. I know a lot of people like this dude here, Bill Maher, right? But listen to how he felt about it on his. I don't know if he still has a TV show that's on TV or not, but listen to what he had to say about it.
And on the other side of crazy, did you see what the San Francisco supervisors have done? They are backing reparations if you're a black person in San Francisco of $5 million. Really? No reaction? Okay. All right, let me keep going. You get $5 million, elimination of personal debt, of all tax burdens, a guaranteed annual income of $97,000 for 250 years. Wow, must be some health care involved there, too. And a home that you get for $1. And let's see who's clapping there.
Yeah, it's funny, but like 100 years ago, be like, yo, lynch those N-word lovers, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he make it a joke now. They are oppressed. That's why I'm like, it's pretty funny. They mad as hell about this. They mad as hell. But, it's pretty funny to me, Right. That's what I'm saying. And look, before any of them can say anything to me, you know what I'm saying, they better be breaking off some of that money first. And for like, you know, with him, if he's a shyster, I don't care what he got to say. If he ain't breaking off some of that Jewish reparation money, then yeah, I don't want to hear nothing, right? I don't care if he's a $5 Indian, if he ain't breaking off some of that casino money, I don't care what you got to say, to be honest with you. But they definitely are pressed, and we be living in their heads, you know what I'm saying? But we better start charging rent, because we probably be like, oh, we'll let you be rent free. Let's charge some rent now.
The first to comment on this was George Santos, who said, as a black man. And on the other side of crazy, did you see what the San Francisco supervisors have done? They're backing reparations.
All right. Because it's kind of irrelevant what they do say. So, but I guess it is more so relevant. And because Sidra did a good job talking about this, so I don't want to go too on. I won't put the link in the chat in 1 minute, right? And but this dude was kind of, you know, explaining why he said, oh yeah, because the NAACP came out, Reverend Brown, I forget his name, Reverend Brown came out and said he was against it, and he was kind of like, you know, backtracking and stuff like that. So.
Is not against cash payments at all. But we're against being put in a trick bag and set up for failure. And those members of the Board of Supervisors gave lip service to the concept, the idea of reparations. But beginning with the chair, he's the one who said no cash. And the chairperson of the Finance Committee, an Asian lady, Ms. Chan, said, we have a deficit in the city. And we cannot afford it. The point, brother, I'm making is that we must not let our adversaries, whoever they may be, set us up for another study, another to be put on a shelf and to collect dust. We must have action, and action now. We believe in cash plus. It's not either or.
So when you say the setup,
it's two wings for a bird.
Yo, Bakari got the Howard University sweatshirt on, brother Bakari.
So when you say there's a setup going on here, are you saying that what has happened is you've had a lot of people, a lot of commenting from people on this very issue, and so there are people who have been opposing direct payments. They've been attacking them. They've said, "Oh, this is going to bankrupt individuals in San Francisco." Right. Things like so. You believe that if that is how it's set up, it's guaranteed never to pass. Is that what you're saying?
They did not on Tuesday night vote at all. This thing has been delayed until October. And I feel that we should not be delaying doing the right thing. Dr. King said the time is always right to do right. They could have easily said,
that man said, Dr. King said the time to come right to do right. He also said, yo, we going to get our check. He did say that. Let's be real. You know, I'm not going to lie about that. He did say, yeah, let's go up to Washington now. I'm going to say I'm excluding all these people of color. As we see, they're not your friends, right? They can hit you 6 times and it take 15 months for them to get locked up or whatever. But yeah, no, people of color, like Cassandra said, black people, right?
Support cash payments too, and even if we are facing a deficit, we can establish a payout plan. But they did not. And the mistake of the chairperson, he meant well, but he said to National Public Radio that there was no math formula for this $5 million. It was just something that was taken out of thin air, that was put into the document. And that was unfortunate, for then the general public began to focus on the $5 million with no plan. And even if we had a problem with the deficit, somebody should have said, we can get from the private sector monies to establish a reparation fund. We have billionaires in San Francisco per capita than any major city in the United States, according to a recent study. So I just feel, and my constituent base feels, we must be deliberative, and we must move to bring about redress.
I think there's confusion. The press release says the San Francisco NAACP today called upon the Board of Supervisors to reject a one-time $5 million reparations payment to blacks, but instead call upon the city to make investments in 5 key areas to atone for a history of racism, discrimination, and mistreatment. Now, you said, and it lays out in here what those 5 are, and that is invest in education.
Oh yeah, Cassandra. Oh yeah.
Economic empowerment, housing, healthcare, and feel more.
Facts, Erica. Because right, you're talking about health. Like, I'm pretty sure you can afford healthcare with like $5 million and you know what I'm saying, $97,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? You could definitely for 250 years. And by the way, the stipulation is you owe me this money no matter wherever we go. But you know, another part of the stipulation is, all right, let me just keep going.
Heritage Center. Now, you said that you believe in payments and this. So again, yes. Okay. So, but the statement doesn't address payments, and so people assumed
that was a misprint. Let me admit it. That was a misprint. That line was left out of there. That was a misprint. But the basic position, what I'm saying, Brother Roland, is we definitely support payment. But you got to have a plan.
So Pastor Brown, I just want to be clear. Go back to my iPad. The statement that was released, the headline says San Francisco NAACP rejects $5 million reparations payment to blacks. And then it says it in the so you're saying that this statement that was released publicly, this statement is wrong.
That's right.
So the San Francisco NAACP supports direct payments plus investments to the black community.
That's right.
No, he said he was rejecting it until they add all this extra stuff on top of it because he's trying to be slick, really, but he's trying to just do damage control or whatever.
And in the 100 plus recommendations, some of the same things are.
No, it's all good. Let it out, Erica.
What we introduced in 2019. You see,
yeah, it sounds like he
introduced the idea of reparations to this community. On the 30th of July, and downright insult and assault to our humanity. So that was a mistake that was made there regarding our position. And I'm setting the record straight now that we cash payment plus substantive program.
Yeah, he's just messing up, but he's saying the same thing.
Holistically, strategically, wisely, and not be cheapened.
The San Francisco City Council is going to support $5 million cash payment.
From what they said on Tuesday night, and I sat there until 9:30, almost 10 o'clock, down to the nose. Gave these eloquent, flowery statements about our pain and what we deserve. But they said, we're not sure about cash payments. And in addition to that, one of the members.
Well, he said he was against the cash payment. All right, man, because this is pretty long, so I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but y'all can check it out if y'all want to, you know what I'm saying? And we understand, like, you know, this interview was set up for a reason. So let me play this because Cedric kind of mentioned it in the thing. So I'm going to play some of this video here, all right, when it comes to the NAACP.
Proactive organization. They are a reactive organization. and with B and the other be delivered in the form of community programs. That way they can continue to be the gatekeepers of the resources that Black Americans desperately need, in which all of the funds would flow through the NAACP, to which after they get done paying themselves and their bills, then they'll sit up on their high horse dictating who gets what in the Black community. This is a tried and true method of ego-driven, self-inflicted oppression that we've seen practiced all across.
All right, let me do this. I'm gonna put the link in the chat while I play this. If somebody want to come on here, but I'm probably gonna go left. So if you want to say something about this, then I'll let, or anything that I showed previously. But I also want to show something else just to kind of, you know, I don't just do me, but y'all gotta forgive me for that. Or if y'all got something to say about the white universities trying to ban, you know, the thing, or the Arab dude running over the brother and it take 15 months, or, you know, the Black father or mother, or, you know, or if you have something to say about this. So, oh, my bad. Hold on. Let me put the link in the chat. If you got something to say about that, you can definitely come on here, and then I'm gonna go through what I go through and then get off here. And if you come on here, let me know that you in the back or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I can't see while I'm sharing. So put it in a regular chat. I can't see the private chat either. I can see the regular chat, but just let me know if you come on here. So I'm gonna play this video so we can get to like what Cassandra was just talking about, because she covered it. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to her and watch her last video on this.
Across the continent of Africa, as well as Caribbean nations. Disaster strikes, the government of said African or Caribbean nation receives aid from other nations, and then what follows afterward is that the government officials of said nations pocket the money for themselves, and then maybe they might build a flimsy bridge or two just to say technically they did something with the money. Is the NAACP. Now, here's another interesting piece of information that you may not have been aware of. Did you know that last month the NAACP received a $50 million grant from Wells Fargo? They surely didn't reject that now, did they? Now, let's read their press statement and see what they plan on doing with the $50 million. Today, Wells Fargo announced a $50 million grant to support the nation's largest civil rights and social justice organization in its continued efforts to advance racial equity in America. For starters, you cannot, quote, advance racial equity in America by being a reactive organization. You'd have to be a proactive one, which is what the NAACP is not. So right off the bat, they're starting this press release off with a lie. Wells Fargo's grant will both strengthen the NAACP's local units and support the organization's plan to develop a new national headquarters. Translation: we're going to pass this money around amongst ourselves first and break bread with each other within the NAACP.
And that's in the Shyster organization, let me say it for y'all, but this white organization, and they finally got a Black spokesperson in this one area, right? And let me tell you something. They haven't been what's up since like 1920. All right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they name ring bells in 1920 or 1910, right? Until people like Ida B. Wells exposed them for the frauds that they were back then. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the beef that she had with them, because she realized, well, they're not really for Black people, right? They're trying to use Black people and exploit us and, you know, keep the system that they have going. And she used to talk about them all the time, you know. But, you know, you see they get their $50 million. They're going to put it into their own pockets, right? Forget all the stuff that they're talking about. Forget all of the health care and all the stuff that they're saying we should get, you know, instead of whatever. But, you know, facts, Erica.
The grant will assist the NAACP's local units and branches across America by increasing essential staff to implement and sustain meaningful programming, and will support their work to grow strategic partnerships with key businesses and communities across the country. This is just another very wordy way of stating that we're going to pass the money around amongst ourselves. Notice how the language that they use is very broad and general. There's nothing specific here. And you'll notice that the rest of the press release continues to read like that. In addition, at the national level, the grant will support the NAACP's work on policy solutions used to address the needs of the community it serves. Once again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but the NAACP is a reactive organization. They do not work on any policy solutions. The NAACP gets told by the Democratic Party what policies they want them to push on us. They get told what to do. The Democrats say, hey, what we want you to push on Black America is the John Lewis voting rights bill. And then the NAACP's job is to convince you on why you need said bill. The NAACP does not make any demands ever, let alone negotiate anything on your behalf with the threat of publicly withdrawing support from the Democratic Party if they do not get what they want. They never do that, and they never make any demands. They simply get told what to do. We are grateful to Wells Fargo for their donation, the single largest donation the NAACP has ever received from a corporation. These funds will go directly towards strengthening the NAACP's grassroots network of local units and branches across all 50 states, as well as the work of the national NAACP, said NAACP President and CEO Derek Johnson. All corporations play a critical role in our democracy. They must be engaged as allies in the fight to end discrimination in our economy, in our justice system, across society, and within their own services, and blah, 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 blah. Does this press release not read off exactly like how I said the NAACP operates? First, we'll split the money up amongst ourselves, and then we'll get around to creating some sort of grant or scholarship program for people of color, minorities, and marginalized groups. And no, I am not being facetious when I say that concerning people of color, minorities, and marginalized groups.
That's yo, what's going on, Melanated Goddess? What up, my brother Bobby? Yeah. And, you know, of course, they got to throw that people of color. And I think that's a part of it, you know, because they was like specifically for Black people. We had to throw the Mexicans and all the other non-Blacks in there. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a look at the NAACP scholarship page. Now let's take a look at the requirements to get a scholarship from the NAACP.
Flock Freight's patented technology.
My bad, y'all. So this is what it takes to get a scholarship.
Down just a little bit. And as you can see here where it says eligibility criteria, you must be African American or a person of color, meaning Hispanic or Asian. Okay.
Or shyster or white bitch or Arab or Mexican or he said Latino, you know what I'm saying? Or I mean gay, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, any other quote unquote marginalized group are eligible.
Now let's take a look at their business grant page. And on the Keep It Local Business Fund page, it reads as such. The NAACP and the Next Door Kind Foundation awarded 20 U.S. small business owners of color.
That's a good one. Probably to Rachel Dolezal, considering that's probably the last scholarship they gave away was to Rachel Dolezal. Oh, and by the way, I showed the white bitch who was trying to act like a Black woman on the last one to her mom exposed her too. But that was the last one. But
color, Asians and Hispanics, micro grants from the Keep It Local Business Fund in partnership with Hello Alice. Now, should any of you really be surprised about this? No, you shouldn't be surprised at all.
Okay, my bad. This is where they did give it to Cassandra.
Now, should any of you really their business grant page? And on the Keep It Local Business Fund page, it reads as such. The NAACP and the Next Door Kind Foundation awarded 20 U.S. small business owners of color, Asians and Hispanics, micro grants from the Keep It Local Business Fund in partnership with Hello Alice. Now, should any of you really be surprised about this? No, you shouldn't be surprised at all, because when you go to the NAACP's constitution, it clearly states that they are fighting for all people, not just for Black people, the same way the Congressional Black Caucus's About page reads that they do not fight exclusively for Black people, but they fight for all people of color. Now, I know for some of you that might be a shocker, because you're thinking to yourself, wait, the NAACP has a constitution? Yes, they do. And here's how you access their constitution. And let's give it a little read to see who they actually serve. So what you want to do is that you want to scroll up to the very top of their page and hover your cursor over where it says Find Resources. Then you will scroll down to where it says Resource Library. Click on Resource Library and it will take you to the Resource Library page. Next, what you want to do is scroll down and hover the cursor over here where it says Governance. Now click on the Governance tab. And what you'll see open is 8 results.
And they got Black faces all over this thing, like it's a Black organization or something. And that's what I noticed about a lot of those apps. And like, you know, when we talk about a directory, a lot of those apps and directories are people of color stuff. It's like, even when you go down, if you look at the businesses, it said, oh, people of color business or minority business. And you know what, you know, but they always got the Black face for certain things, and we willingly go along, and then there'll always be a Black person like, yeah, people of color, because we're all oppressed or whatever.
It says viewing 8 results, and the first result you'll see here is the NAACP Constitution. Now click on that link where it says NAACP Constitution. It will take you to their Constitution page, and when you'll scroll down, you'll see NAACP Constitution with a plus mark next to it. Click on the plus mark and a PDF file will open up of the NAACP's Constitution. Now, what you'll want to do is scroll down and keep scrolling until you get to the very first portion that reads Constitution of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Preamble. Now, just scroll down a little bit more until you get to NAACP mission statement. And their mission statement reads as such: the mission of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of rights of all persons and to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination. Notice, they're here to advance equality for all people, eliminating.
Yeah, Erica, but we let them. How can this Arab dude who will hit you with a car can come up in your community and open a store, but we won't even do that, right? We're not going to be like shutting his store down. Like, I remember going into the hood. This is an Arab looking dude. He might have been Indian. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, he might have been Mexican. It's all the same thing, right? It's all the same mulatto groups. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. But we let them come into our communities and open up these stores and these businesses, right? And then we come up in there, hey, what's going on, Habibi? And joking and smiling. Like everything is sweet. But you go into one of their communities and you liable to get sold into slavery. Like, let's be real.
Racial hatred and racial discrimination is the last point that they mentioned on here. I'm cutting this part short for time, but if you read the whole preamble starting at the very top, everything as it reads off says what they're going to do for people of color, for all people, for everyone in the United States. All people. It's not until the very end where it states that their
facts, Erica.
goal is to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination. Their goal is to fight for everyone in the United States, not just Black Americans. And this is the issue with all of these Black organizations, just like the Congressional Black Caucus. They pump fake and pretend like they're fighting on behalf of Black America, but never make any real demands or negotiate on our behalf seriously. They operate on the basis of what the Democratic Party tells them to do. And with all
right, so yeah, and all right, I got you, my brother. And Ida B. Wells called them out a very, very long time ago. Black Magus, what up, my brother?
Peace, baby for ODA. That's Black Liberation. Oh man, this just to answer what you said, right? It's easy, it's simple. We don't have the power in our communities to do these things, really, just because of look who is given the power. Those who mean us no well and are nothing but the puppets of others. While I greatly disagree with FBA does get some things right. And one of those things is, and man, I hate giving these guys any kind of credit, but you can take the good from the bad, and they're greatly bad more than they're good. That there's mouthpieces, that there's people looking for the butter biscuits. They turned it into, you can't trust these old Indians, and that there are no elders. That's false. The problem is that our elders have been overshadowed and overtalked because they don't have platforms, or they're really just too busy doing the work, to be honest with you. I mean, our elders who are out there, who we should be using to judge who we can rely on and who means us well, they don't have well, I'll say that they do have the ear of, the quote unquote new black media, at least those who I know mean us well. It's just, again, they're too busy doing real work. And so because of that, we get these charlatans who come up out of nowhere. I mean, you have to remember, our great scholars and initial elders, they didn't pass away until, like, what was it, 2004, 2005? And right after that, that's when you started seeing the wave of all of these new pseudo elders hitting the scene, really out of New York, and all of these people who all of a sudden got cred, but none of the past elders would have ever spoken on these dudes. And so because of that, our people fell by the wayside. They fell back onto this the NAACP. The integrationist programming got even larger, and we see how that's led us now, right? Like Sister Erica said it. Like, who is the NAACP? Like, how do they say, oh, black people don't need this? Wait, what? You don't speak for all of black people? But yet again, we let any and everybody get black cred. And so now, like I was telling you earlier, like, we're talking about, we got friends here, we got friends there, and people are shouting for Cardi B this and Cardi B that. I don't know who this Tasha K YouTube person is. I don't know what her content is, but for a black woman to get a $4 million lawsuit put against her for defamation of character because she's saying some stuff about Cardi B, and Cardi B goes to the judge and my mental anguish, and I feel so sad, and this caused real problems in my life and in my marriage. Like, yo, you're a hoe and you do hoe content and you do hoe singing, and somebody calls you a hoe and you get to go to the judge and tell them, I need to file a defamation of character lawsuit, and you win $4 million. I don't know who this, again, I don't know who this Tasha K person is, but I don't think she got $4 million to be given, especially to Cardi B. But where is the outrage of sisters that are like, yo, this ain't right. Ban Cardi B, block Cardi B. Cardi B is no longer allowed. It's silly that our people really participate in their own destruction and don't even see it. You got on Instagram, there's some white guy going around talking about he always is schooling white people that black people are the best because look at them, they win every sport, they got all of the talents, they got all the best humor. All we do is go around colonizing and destroying and stealing. And I'm looking at the comment section on this, and it's all black people talking about some, yeah, he's spitting facts. He's spitting facts. He welcome to the cookout. Yeah, that's my brother. And I was like, but when a black person says this, y'all want to tell him that he talking hate speech. Yeah, y'all want to tell him that he's talking stupid stuff. Like, y'all quick to accept those who ain't us. And just, man, I could go on about that, but
Lord,
what you're showing is really just on point and is poignant with everything that we're seeing right now that's leading to our people to detriment.
Yeah, Black man, because I'm thinking about hiring Jane Elliott to come on and say what I'm saying, so black people be down with what I'm saying. But nah, yo, I get what you're saying. It takes a white person saying something for it not to be hate in some cases. You know what I'm saying? That's why we even looking at brothers who come on here. But I'm not gonna have smoke for brothers, especially on this platform. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand, like, we don't have that kind of smoke for nobody else. And I'm gonna say it for everybody, since we don't have that energy. Besides, like, you know, the people around and us, I know we got that energy, but you see, you get the trolls in the chat all the time now. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool, but that's the thing. Like Bobby said, you know, that's our problem. We fight for integration and equality instead of self-determination and land of our own. And, you know, that just remind me of what happened with the Birmingham bus boycott. They could have literally put their money together and made their own bus system, but they was like, no, let's get, you know, equal treatment in the bus facilities. You know, forget their bus facilities. I think it's more important to have our own bus system, so we don't have to complain about stuff like this, you know. And Cassandra said we have more power than you think. We just don't know it. And yeah, I agree with that, you know. And it's just about exercising it. And I think, you know, whatever. But that's what happens when you put when you invite everybody to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? Because we think everybody our friends. We call everybody black, and people get offended if you say you got to have 2 black parents, which I think is a form of self-hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they'd be like, yo, you're a race bait. Like, if you got a problem with saying black people having black men and black women having children together makes black children, and we should have strong black communities, I think that's like that means you hate black families and black people. So I guess that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But this minority coalition where all the people who you argue who are black, and oftentimes these are the same people who won't call themselves black, but they'll tell you all these other groups are black, but then they'll turn around and get hit by a car like 6 times, and the dude will ride off and not face no charges or nothing. And nobody gonna do nothing about it.
But you know what? I think we don't give social media enough credit, in the sense that it is what has led to this condition that our people are in. Because people get on social media, and all of a sudden I know what the world is talking about, when they have absolutely no clue about what's really going on. It's just the things that get promoted are the things that further the plan of our degradation as a people. And so when people just, you know, black people over in Africa doing this, black people over here doing that, black people in the South, black people in the North, black people all over the world are doing this. But they're only looking at a small, minute few who get the algorithm to push their stuff. And when you actually go to some of these, how would I say it? When you just search around on any social media platform, right? And you see somebody posting positive stuff, and you see how small their audience is. Like, let's just use your YouTube as an example, right? I've been coming over here for about, I say 2 months now, maybe. And when I first came over here, after, you know, finding your channel from Bakari, I was like, oh dang, this brother got views, he got followers. But then I come here, and I try to come, you know, almost every program, and I see how many, it's always about the same 12, 13 of us, unless you get the trolls that are coming in. But I guarantee you, if you was in here, you know, FBA this, the hell with ADOS that, man, let me tell you about these ends, let me tell you about these chicken heads and all this other stuff, then all of a sudden you'll see that 3,000 something number just rising up every day. But because you come on here and you're talking about, you know, our detriment, the things that are going on between us and other people, it's like, nah, he ain't talking about nothing. And they want somebody to feed that.
Yeah, what you're saying is absolutely true. If I was to come on here, like N-word this and arguing all the time, they would definitely put me in the algorithm. But I will say this though, a lot more people do be watching this than they realize. Like, they be like, the numbers be wrong. Like like soon as you in it, it'll be like, you know, like 60, 70 some people. Like the first time I ever went live, it was like 40 people, like 40, 50 people. And I know for a fact that like people like hit me up like, yo, I've been like, they unsubscribe people from my channel. And I remember when they did it, like I had one video, like if you go back and like look up the height, like people were sharing it and watching it. Cause I only say this because I think more people support it than we think, even though there is a large majority of us that get caught up on the drama. But like once I started, like it's one video I talked about the black lady in Florida, Raymond Zayala, you know what I'm saying, who was a state attorney, and they was trying to take all her cases, and I got like 300,000 views. And after that, like they've been like hacking my channel, blocking it ever since, and they kind of stopped blocking it. And I think they listen to everything that I say and do on here, and that's why I try to warn people before they come on here. They probably keep it on here a lot for a reason, but they do keep it out of like the algorithm and stuff. But more people do listen than you think, you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I've been watching some of the older joints that you did, and seeing how you had that he, I don't know if he was a troll or if he thought that you were an ally, this Hispanic guy.
that white
Like,
dude,
he
he said Black Lives Matter or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he was.
I think you're talking about the Mexican dude. It might have been that or the Mexican dude.
But it's we don't, as Cassandra was saying with the power, like we give our power away because we think we have to have somebody else speak on our behalves, instead of, you know, if we're like-minded, that's one thing. But if we're at least all serious-minded on something, then we can all put our voices together to make an echo chamber, you know, like make a community for us. But when we have to rely upon others to do it, then we have to also accept the things that they're going to bring upon. Like, again, here we go. We're talking about building and enlightening or in darkening black people, because we don't need to be enlightened. And yet we still have to rely on the enemy to put us in the algorithm to get our voices out there, knowing that we have people looking for us, but we have to use their platform to do it. But the minute that we tell black people, or black people, hey, don't follow me on this one, this here is just to get your attention, come over to this platform, black owned, follow me there, you know, it's not as, you know, high tech as YouTube, but look here, the more we get people over there, the more we get people to support it, you'll see how fast this platform and this website will grow. And it's like, you'll probably get 10, 15 folk following you loyally. Yeah. And it's like, yo, where the rest of you at? Like, we don't stick with supporting each other, to the sense that we also lead to our own detriment, because we don't believe in backing each other 100%.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. And for a while we tried to do that with the other platform. I forget what it's. I still got it on my thing. What's it called? I'm mad I forgot it that quick. But we did the same thing with the other platform that's supposed to be a black platform that's owned by the brother Isaac Hayes. You know what I'm talking about?
What's the platform about? Is it
fan base? It's just a medium for you can talk on, but you can't really show videos on it or nothing like that. But it's a platform to talk on, but it's black owned. But you know, it's a lot of stuff that went down on like fan base. But sir, like you said, only a few people came over there and we was on there with us. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of turned into a toxic environment. I'm not gonna lie. You know, but then I try to do shows like with tech shows with the brother Ben Uko came on here talking about his platform, and then I know Koku and Bit of Medicine, he trying to develop that. So I try to do shows, but people don't really listen to the tech shows, like talking about, like, you know, even with the shows that we did with Erica, like people ain't come on and really ask questions or engage it and, you know, come up with solutions. But Like I get what you like, because like what you're saying, like people don't, you know what I'm saying, support what we're doing, but at the same time we still got to keep trying, because I did a show about YouTube and I talked about, you know what I'm saying, she's a Polish kike bitch, you know what I'm saying, who's in charge of YouTube right now. So of course they're not gonna put me in the algorithm. I wouldn't put me in the algorithm if I was going against me either, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's again, like, we don't understand that there are people who are out there that are the paid mouthpieces to mislead our folks. Like we keep our ears to the streets here to know what's going on in our area. And one of my brothers hit me up earlier today with a flyer from a men's meeting that's happening like 20 minutes down the street from me. The flyer is like, hey, these are going to be the people that's there, with the main talking head being somebody from the NAACP. And I was like, that right there means get these Negroes in line. That's exactly what I seen that as. But the location, and here we go, right? Because they're going to use this to say, see, this is why black folk can't do nothing. They're not professional about anything. Now, this is the president of the NAACP. So you're not going to tell me that the president of the NAACP Denver chapter ain't professional with what he does. But the flyer says, hey, we're going to be at this location at this time. It's a hotel. Okay, where's the address for the hotel? What ballroom are you going to be in? Like, where are the specifics? From what time till what time? What's the attire? Is this an open door meeting? Like, none of this is in there. It's just a quick little headshot of a couple of folk that's going to be there. And it's like, yo, this tells me this is not serious. Like, we just won't get some people there, especially if you don't know what you're doing, or you don't already like some of the things that you're seeing in the black community. Hey, let me tell you what we need to get done. And that's how they get into the minds of our people who, I won't say are fence riders. Like this is something that they practice in corporate America, right? Where you have your and your positive employees. Of your 100% of employees, you're going to have about 40% who are negative, 20% who are positive, and the rest are going to be neutral. They could be swayed either way. The positive is just going to do their job, right? And they'll be interactive. They'll do everything that they possibly can to help that company out because they take pride in what they do. Whereas the negative person, they will do their job with the most resistance. And those are, you know, your squeaky wheels. But then the neutral people, they look at the positive person and it's like, man, that person sure is working hard. Like, you don't have to work that hard. Like, all you have to do is just do the job. You don't have to be extra in what you do. Like, why are you trying to fish for accolades and things like that? But then they see what the negative person does. This person is getting paid, probably even getting overtime, especially this definitely applies to United States Postal Service. They watch what they do and they're like, you know what? It's more easier for me to do my job and be negative than it is to just stay being neutral or to even go over to be positive. And so that's the same thing. That's the same dynamic that we see with our community as a people. We see that the biggest mouthpieces are those who have platforms, those who get monetized, and they're 100% negative. No matter what it is that they're talking about, they're negative in everything that they do. Whereas the positive people, the negative people, come out to dissuade the neutrals too, right? I've watched this for about since the Mike Brown murder. I watched Tariq Nasheed go after the irritated Jeannie and call him an agent when Jeannie was on the ground with King D. Seals before he was murdered. And when he got murdered, Jeannie was there reporting on everything. But then here come Tariq Nasheed saying this man is an agent, straight black pride. What is that? That sounds like some kind of hate group. Now, how is it us talking about Black people being straight, black, and proud is agent talk. How is it somebody who's been doing the work since the late 90s for race work for black people is an agent, whereas you hit the scene and the way you do it is a straight agent way. Everybody's seeing you put up, you prop up our elder, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, peace be upon her. This was her born month. You put up Umar Johnson when people, believed in Umar and he was positive. Then he put up two pseudo people. I would never call Booker T. Coleman an elder, and I would never have anything positive to say about what's the other guy, Phil Valentine, who I know a lot of people like, because again, pseudo scholars from nowhere, nobody to vouch for them. But then he parlayed that into, what is it, Hidden Colors 2, and all of a sudden here go the rappers, and it's like it's the bait and switch each and every time. But yet, look at how big FBA is now, which, to be honest with you, I don't know how big FBA is now, but look at where it was to where it is now. And we see it's the same thing. They go after those neutral people who don't have anybody to identify with, who are looking for some knowledge of self. And because they can overshadow, because they have the platforms, we see the way that our people are persuaded.
Yeah, definitely, my brother. All right, and so let me do this, right? Because I want to consider it, and Erica and Bobby and them to see something before I go. But before I go to somewhere else, right? Because it's still the same thing. But did you have anything else to say about anything else I had showed, before?
Nah. I was just gonna say, really on that, especially with the brother getting hit.
Oh yeah, yeah, that one, yeah, with the Arab dude, the East Mexican dude,
Here we go. We got these people with platforms talking about we need to be political. What sense does it make for us to be political when we don't even have our own self-defense in line? If you're going to be having these platforms and your FBA and your ADOS and all this other crap, then why are you not galvanizing black people to be together to go fight for this justice that's needed instead of, thumping some other crap?
Yeah. Yo, so what's going on, Libera?
Hi, my brother. It's nothing much. Just checking in on you.
Oh yeah, we all good. Hey, Libera, you kind of came on the right time. I wanted to show you something, and I want considering y'all to see something. Now, this is me. I wasn't trying to get you Black Megas caught up unless I want to. But I gotta address their favorite minority, which is the white bitch, And I say white bitch because people could be disrespectful to black women and it's nothing, right? But they go out the way to protect these white bitches and they be crazy, So I want to show you something, because this is one of the first ones who get invited to the cookout in this minority coalition, and it's probably been the thing. And I was talking a little bit about it last time. Shouts out to Bobby people. I don't know if y'all seen that and what happened to, he got caught up with white girls lying. So and people often be like, yo, I'm tripping because I'd be like, yo, we different than them, right? But I think that we are different, and so check this out, right?
Yeah, we are different. I did my DNA against one.
Yeah. So check it out. Listen to what they're saying, right?
I made the conscious decision to stop washing my hands. I think when I was in college. Was it college for you? I don't know. That's when I remember it, because one of my good friends from college also doesn't wash her hands, and it was like, we had that bonding experience. One day I was like, I'm just not gonna wash them. She was like, I'm not either. I don't wash my hands.
I don't really trust people that wash their hands because, well, one, I don't think it does anything to actually wash. It doesn't do anything to actually wash them.
I do wash if I go number 2.
They didn't used to wash them back in
I know the dude said before he was wrong because we was talking about other black people in the NAACP and the black pawns, but now you could say that I may be race baiting. But it's hard to me to define all of this stuff, but this is what you got to look forward to once you start messing with these white girls. You didn't save them while they was in the cave, and you're still doing the same thing 6,000 years later.
Yep, the same thing back again. No different. And you notice that when that happened, they had the black woman taking care, being a slave to the white woman, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Taking care of their children, right?
well, taking care of them, period.
Right.
You know, they have the catering to them, getting their stuff, and there's pictures that depict that.
Right.
So basically, it's where the men in our community need to think. You know, they need to. They're not thinking, and that came from an older man. He told me they just don't think. You know, that's what it is. Not, you know, and it's not their fault. It's the fault that we've been fed a degenerate understanding of life, where when it comes to our pure divinity, studying that and studying self, that's what we were supposed to have been doing. You know, understanding our connection to the world and, you know, to the nature and how that works, how all of that works. But being that they got us going to chemistry class and mixing liquids, which is just the surface. It's just understanding the surface things in life, but not understanding the things unseen, like the words that you say and how they come back at you like a boomerang, or the things that you do and how it comes back to you. That's science. That's science that would prevent, when you have that understanding, that would prevent, you know, they teach us the Bible, and this is what I'm telling you about this education, this understanding. They teach us the Bible, but they're telling you about all these bad things in the Bible. When, if you have a mind, those things don't exist in your world. You know what I'm saying? So they tell you these things, like someone said it best, better way than I'm trying to say it. I'm trying to say some things just don't need to be said, talked about, because amongst certain people, they don't have a problem with those things. But because we're focused on those deadly sins, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not this, thou shalt not that. It's subconsciously in the minds, and it makes you have to do those things, because we are amongst people that created the weapons, the guns, and the violence, and all of these things, that they needed the Bible, and our ancestors gave them that for their minds. But for our minds, it does the opposite. And then along with all the treatment, because they taught us how to be degenerate.
Right.
They turned our men into Captain Caveman.
Right. And like, so look, let me let me get through this, and I'm gonna play the rest of it, then I'm gonna let y'all speak on it. But the one thing I would hope is, like, black men don't turn into, like, the Moors learning, like, don't try to save them, let them have their black plague, you know what I'm saying? But don't try to teach them. But check this out, right? So, because this is the first one.
They can't now.
Right. I hope
way back in the day when
right. Right. Yeah.
they didn't have, and you would go to the bathroom out in the outhouse, nobody washed their hands then, and there was less diseases. I sometimes, like, when my roommates home, I'll have to, like, wash their hands then, and there was less diseases. I sometimes, way back in the day when they didn't have, and you would go to the bathroom out in the outhouse, nobody washed their hands then, and there was less diseases. I sometimes, like, when my roommates home, I'll have to, like, turn the water on, because I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm, like, disgusting. I'll, like, text. I'll, like, turn the water on and, like, take a text break and be like, when you're at work and someone that you know goes into the stall, you're like, well, I guess I'll fake wash my hands now. We're always in the bathroom with Kate, and I'm always like, we also don't shower.
Yeah, they were about to say we also don't shower. But yeah, she's not the only one, you know what I'm saying? Listen to it.
Oh, I was gonna say that too.
Oh,
I don't
my
care.
bad.
I'm done.
I mean, these are y'all favorites here, you know what I'm saying? The favorite allies. Oh, my bad. Now it's freezing up.
I was listening to a sister talking about one of the brothers that was speaking online, and he was saying on YouTube here that the black woman is white man's enemy.
Yeah, hold on. Let me because before it freeze up.
My hands. Oh, I was gonna say that too. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done hiding it. Also, we talked about this. Yes. boys washing their hand, that means your dick's dirty. If you have to
Yes.
wash your hand after you pee, what do you get, a dirty dick? And why do girls have to wash it? We don't touch nothing.
We don't even touch nothing.
I get when you take a shit, wash your hands.
I will wash my hands when I take a shit always.
Yes, but why do I
Just
have
in
to wash my
case.
hands? For what? I'm not sticking my hand up my vagina. And
Like-
you know what's crazy? And I think a lot of people do this. Like if I'm in a public restroom and there's people in the stalls, I will even after I pee go to the sink, wash the water, like
Run the water.
pretend to wash with my hands, get
Get
some
out of
paper
there.
towels, and get out.
Or I'll run. I'll run
There's
out
like
of there.
4 white bitches in like 30 seconds. Yo, what you think about these white bitches, Black Magus?
Man, I seen this video sometime, I think mid 2022 when it first came out. And all it made me think about was remember, I don't know if y'all seen the videos, but remember when the lockdowns happened and TikTok really blew up? Do you remember the toilet seat challenge that they started doing?
When the white girl ate out the toilet seat.
Yeah, and they were
toilet. Yeah.
Yes.
They were licking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're in the middle of talking about a health crisis and people needing to wash their hands, and here you go, you got these cave bitches acting in their natural selves, and it's like, yo, black man, this is what you chasing after? Are you fucking serious? Man, I've seen this video. I've seen probably 7 to 8 different videos of same shit like this. And you know what it makes me think of? That Muhammad Ali clip that you ended your last program with, right? Where he's saying that we're talking about being equal, but we got all the same thing that the dog has. So how are we equal? And because even the dog has sexual access to the white bitch.
Right. You know, if you say something mean about a white bitch, a black man gonna show up in the chat and defend the white bitch somewhere. So you know that's gonna happen.
Where the gremlin at? Where he at? Because he gonna be the first one.
Yo, so here go another white bitch. You know, because like I know that y'all act like I'm saying something wrong here, but hold on.
A TikToker goes by with other humans. I just see if anyone else does them. Number one, I don't shower. Literally for like sometimes a week. I really see the point. Don't really like the feeling kind of being wet and then having to get dry and it's cold. Don't use deodorant either because again I don't see the point. I don't see anyone and it doesn't bother me. I don't feel very dirty. It's gross. I do use deodorant if I'm going to Tesco out of courtesy for other people, but really only then. I don't brush my hair either. Again, what is the point? I'll tell you what the point is. The point is that it doesn't get matted, so that when you do wash it, eventually it's easier.
Wash
So,
your hair
but
and stuff like that.
I don't know washing them
Like
before.
use washcloths or nothing like that. What you think, Light Bearer?
You talking about her hair?
Well, she just said she don't take showers sometimes for like more than a week, you know, because like I don't like getting wet and like.
Oh,
what's the
that's not
point?
good. That's not good for nobody. That's not good at all.
Yeah, she's a woman, so
You
like
don't
I
get
mean,
sick. I mean, you don't get sick, infections.
well, I mean, brothers love this kind of stuff, I guess, you know. It's,
Let them have it. I'm like this. I don't care what anybody wants to sleep with. The whole point is it's a trick and a trap. And like I was going to say to you about the black man starting to think that the black woman is his enemy, that's what they want you to do. They want the black man to think like that. And they want it's
Right.
delusional thinking that our people have out here. And it's what it means that what they're doing, these Caucasians, is working. It's working what they do.
yeah, but you know, if you say something about a black woman, everybody gonna cheer you on, like, yo, black woman ain't this, black woman.
Oh, yeah.
But if
That's
I say
the
something about
programming.
this, if I have to say something about this white woman, the first thing I'm gonna see from a black man is, oh Lord have mercy, Miss Ann loves me. You know, this white-
Captain Caveman.
Let me veggie back off what that sister just said though. You know what that is, right? That's a simulation. Like,
yeah.
okay, let me tell you all these bad things about these black women, Now here goes the white woman to come save you, black man. This is who you could be with. And now that you're with her, you're gonna put up with all of the nasty shit that she do, and then still try to talk crap about the black woman. Because let's not get it twisted. And this is gonna take a mature mind to get. Black people inherently did not participate, especially talking about it publicly, with fellatios, anal sex, all of this debaucherous sex.
Because we're
And
spiritual people, and we love deeply. We don't just love for the love of skin and love of feelings, surface stuff.
Exactly.
We're emotions, got emotions. They don't have emotions behind it. What I found is they can stick you in the butt. They just about feel. That's why the white woman likes the black man. She's just about what I can feel. It's not love. It's just feeling in the gut and her feeling it. You know, she likes a hard, big, large penis to pound. That's the thing about it. That's just the fact. Because she needs that feeling. She doesn't have any other way to. They don't even have true love. They don't know that.
But
They
that
just
way,
know the flesh. The reason why their skin is the way it is because they're people of the flesh, and we don't have the education to understand what we're dealing with.
yeah, but and let me say this, because like even though like y'all hit on some like good points, even though it may or may not be explicit or whatever, you know, and that's the point though. Like black people are emotional, and it's difficult for us to control our emotions, and we love everybody, but sometimes we got to come to a point where like, yo, practicality says loving everybody is not going to save you. A white bitch is not going to save you. Lightening up your gene pool is not going to save you. None of that stuff. In fact, you're just going to wipe yourself out, you know. And all of these friends, allies, minority, people of color, everybody who we love so much, right? They're all about themselves. And once we learn that and learn to love ourselves, if we really loved something, then we would be, you know what I'm saying, on that thing. You know what I'm saying?
But white people think they're saving you because in their a lot of their religions say that if you turn white that you're gonna have a better life, but that's ignorant. Because the whole reason for racism is because the envy of our DNA and our abilities to get off this planet. They don't have the ability to get off this planet. They will never leave this planet. Their spirits will dwell upon this place. They will. That's why they try to give you a heaven and a hell. There's no such thing as either one. It's all about getting off the planet and going to the next level. And they don't have that capability. That's why I say it's a trick. The only way to get off this planet is through the black woman. So basically, the white man got the black man busy over here with the white chick that he knows he does not have no stand-up chance of getting out from his skin. So he wants to come into the black woman. So while what I noticed is the black women are falling for the delusion of the white man's savior. They think, well, now they're saying, oh, the black men in our community are no good, this and that, because they don't have an understanding that there's so many men out here in the world that you cannot put men into a box. Because there's so many different men, and plus you have a soulmate. You have to be in tune with yourself to know who's right for you out here, and if he's building for you. And
can I ask you a question?
What extremes is he going to out here? Because it is men, black men out here doing things with great minds, higher than any mind on this planet. They just not in the right places. They just need to get out. You know, that's the thing. We need to our women need to get out and travel and get out and stop being stuck and thinking that they have to. You don't have to be a wife. You don't have to be a mother. And until you reached high knowledge of yourself and to the point where you can go and find that mate or have that soulmate, and you come together and build. But the white man wants you to build with him so he can get what he wants from the situation is to get off this planet. And
go
that's
ahead.
obvious through NASA, of course. That's why they have NASA, to study how they can, other ways they can get off the planet.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask all your question on Black Maggots.
Go Black Man.
Light Bearer, check this out. I was talking to, and I want your opinion on this, because when you talked about the heaven and hell, right? I've come to the summation that their heaven is our hell, which is this here on planet Earth, where we're supposed to be having our heaven at. They've turned it into hell for us, and so they're exactly right. So when they die, what exactly is it that they go to? Because if this here is our that's what I'm trying to, that's something that I'm trying to get to discernment, is they're supposed to be so spiritual, which we know that they're not, because if they were, they would actually drop religion altogether and get back to an actual spirituality that they've learned from us.
And they would be treating the planet and us the utmost, with the utmost. We wouldn't be in the conditions that we are now.
So then my question to you, sis, is what do you think a hell for them is?
That it's obvious, ain't it? That's why they said we can't rise. They will not let us rise. They ain't gonna give us they're not gonna give us reparations, because that would be their hell. That would be their hell. Is actually us knowing ourselves, being in our true being, existence, being all powerful. That's their hell. I don't know why, but that would be their hell. Any power that we get without them, if they say go to another country, get out of this country, is what they say when you complain and you have something to say, right? They'll say get out of this country and find some other, go to Africa, right? They'll say that to us. If all the Black people left this place, it would be hell for them in America. If it wasn't a Black person left in America, it would be hell for them and the foreigners.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, there's always going to be some Black people that's going to be like, well, I want to stay here. You know, we see some. And
well, if we just disappeared, let's put it that way.
Right. I feel what you're saying. You're right.
They would be back in the cave days. They would be so poor. They would be without. They just, it is what it is. Obvious.
Yeah. And let me say this, because it's not even about white bitches, you know what I'm saying? It's the problem with the uncomfortability that Black men have when you say white bitches, you know what I'm saying? This is about Black men and the weakness, the glaring weakness that you have, the infinite. And it's not just Black men, because I see Black women making excuses for white bitches too, you know what I'm saying? And the people
the funny thing about it, Forecast, is they're the dog, and the white woman is the bitch, because that's all they're doing is doing the act of sex like the animals do. That's all they're doing is the act of sex like the animals do. Right. There's no love in it ever. You can't have love you can't be in love with your captive as a Black man, somebody that's got you subjugated, and the white woman always will have him subjugated.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. This is about the Black man and his love. Because I know y'all don't like, but it's they throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let me just show these last couple ones, right? I'm gonna show these. They're like a minute. They all short.
And the bad thing about it, Forecast also.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna show these last ones, and then I'm gonna let you go in on it.
So happy that you're talking about this.
Yeah.
She didn't have a bath for like 5 months of her life.
Yeah, we didn't bathe her for the first whole part of her childhood. And now we basically bathe her as she asks for it because it's fun, or she's
Really
exceptionally dirty.
We really wanted to keep her skin microbiome
as healthy and intact. Even if it's just rinsing with water, our water has chlorine in it and all kinds of other preservatives and different chemicals that I just didn't want to expose her to.
This show and being married to my wife has opened me up to so many more thought processes like this, because I think so many of us are conditioned. But if you really strip it down and think about it, obviously we lived this way naturally for a very long time. I think like you put up the commercial city constraints and people change their behavior. So it's like coming back to a more primal way of life.
Now that you guys are saying this, that makes a lot of sense to just like let it be. And I feel like as a mother too, you have intuition to know when they need a bath.
Right. And they used to say throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So let me show y'all one last thing, because I'm sure like Black people overlook this hygiene thing and still, do all the things they wouldn't do to a Black woman to her. But this is what's going to happen to you after you do that,
Calm down for a second. What do you got in your pocket there? Is that just something hanging off your backpack? What is that, a hanger? What are you doing with that? Is this your bike? It's your bike? You got ID on you?
Why do you need my ID?
Because somebody saw you looking at cars, so I'm here just checking to see what's going on. You got ID on you?
Yeah, I do, but
okay,
do anything?
Yeah, I'm figuring that out right now. I'll take a look at your ID, though.
You don't need my ID unless I did something.
Okay.
Unless you're taking me in for something like
Turn around, put your hands behind your back right now. Now!
For what?
Turn around and put your hands behind your back now.
For what?
Before we get started,
108, pick it up. You're gonna obey me, or you're gonna go on the
ground. Obey him.
Because I'm giving you a lawful order.
For what?
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Do anything?
Right, hold on.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
What did I do?
Do you want to get tased?
I want to show y'all who
Excuse
did
me?
Turn around and put your
what?
Because he said somebody saw you looking at the cars. I'm gonna give you a glimpse of who it was.
Do you know how to work here?
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Do you know how to work here? This is my bike.
Okay.
So what did I do for you to approach me and then tell me that put my hands behind my back?
Sir.
What are you arresting me for?
I'm not arresting you. Right now, you're not cooperating with
For
me.
what?
And you're getting agitated.
You asked me for my ID.
Right.
I don't have to give you my ID
Okay.
unless I've done something. What have I done?
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
For what? Are you arresting me? And for what
I'm
purpose?
detaining you.
Detaining me for what? Why are you detaining?
You're not even listening.
What did I do for you to detain me?
All right. So y'all know the same story with that one, right?
Okay. Is that the male that you saw? Okay. Can you get me video?
He didn't do
Male
anything.
that came to this bike, everything that he did. He's an employee. We've got a witness that saw him going into cars, and we just fought and tased him. So that bike, male come to it. Where did he walk? Which cars?
Car that he got into is clear on the other end.
Okay. So you saw one male walking from all the way over there,
Clear over to here.
and that's the male that we talked to.
Yeah, I watched him. He
Okay.
got into 3 doors of that car.
No, she was over here. She saw him all the way over there going to 3 cars.
And then he just walked
Okay.
away and came clear over here. So I
Okay.
thought, well, that's not right.
Okay.
The woman came
Can
over
you
and
start looking at that for me?
the woman came over and was
Okay.
kind of pissed, saying it was his car is registered with him. But Jude, you said it's your car.
19's on scene with the RP.
Instead of providing Mr. Domino with adequate information to confirm that the car in question belonged to him, Officer Lures chose to disregard him and use excessive force to detain Mr. Domino.
Didn't say anything to me. How many cars?
All right, yo, what you wanted to say? Go ahead, Lightbearer, and then Black Megas.
I was just saying that
Yeah, he tased him.
messing with these female dogs is making our men gay.
Go ahead, say it, white
Literally,
bitches.
I'm
Go ahead, say it.
actually examining it. When they sleep with them, they turn gay after a while. Because I've just witnessed some men. They left women after they had white wives, and they go to the men, and white men, preferably.
Hey, Lightbearer, you know you're gonna have to say it. Say it. Go ahead, say it. White bitches.
White bitch.
All right, yo, I'm just messing with you, Lightbearer. But Black Megas, you wanted to say something?
Man, I mean, that's what else other than the regular typical thing. I mean, I dealt with that growing up in the South more than I can count, and let's just be glad that this man was able to walk away from that and tell the story.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Right.
It is awful.
All right, so this is the last one. Check out this one. You know what I'm saying?
Say it one more time.
Don't matter.
It don't?
No.
Who matter?
Yeah, y'all skulls are thicker.
Okay.
Your baby's different.
Okay.
Y'all are not us.
Okay. Who matters? White power matter, you say?
Yeah.
Look at this bitch. Hey, yo.
And you tried to.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you hear that? And then she showed her stuff and then was like, yo, and you tried to F me. Like, you know.
Hey, yo.
You can't try the willing.
Man.
She was willing.
All right. And but the thing is she was like,
been willing.
but the thing is, in 1923, what you think would have happened to this brother? And she got a straight up Vallejo shirt on, straight out of Vallejo. You know what I'm saying? Well, what you think would have happened to this brother in 1923 if she said something stupid like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, or really 1983 if you want to be real, but they don't want to talk about that. 2023 for real. But people will get offended if I talk about that.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Ew. Racist, yo. Racist.
I'm racist.
What
I'm
that's
racist. My
racist?
name's Angelica Rose Rucker, and I hate because y'all do nothing but buy fancy cars.
Who sat in the car with her?
You get money from y'all.
Yo, all right, good night, because we about to wrap it up. But I just had to put their precious white bitches on blast real quick, y'all. I'm sorry. What you were saying, like,
No, I was just trying to see who was in the car.
probably a black dude. Let me see.
It looked like a black woman. I don't know.
That would make sense. That's the whole purpose, though, because we focused on black people and the black people who love them. Is the question.
Exactly. The ones that would do their bidding, like the 5 cops that be, what's his name, the brother,
All right.
for the white man, because he messed with one of the white men. I think he was messing with the white man's woman, baby mama.
Yeah, it looked like a black person in the car. I
It
can't tell
did.
if it's a man or a woman.
Lightbearer, I got another question for you. Let me give it a little context first. Because I don't want to. I'm not trying to blame this on our sisters, because I know that's how it could sound. We see that we were together, right?
Right.
Before the Ma'afa and during it, and even still now after it. Well, we're still in it technically.
Yeah.
Now the only reason why black men went after white women was because of the enslavement, and we were highly sexualized, and so therefore, woman coming open her legs to him, he gonna run to that.
Right.
But we never coveted her. So here's my question: do you feel like because of feminism and us just wanting to be with our women, that black women have actually gotten black men onto white women?
I think that it's a whole, being in this society, period, is going to entice our men and our women to love white people, period. Because of their music, because of they want to say it's equality, but we don't have no equality, because we know that we're different than they are, and we're way higher on the chain, and that's why they put us on the bottom. So it's a lack of self-knowledge and self-love. So that's why both right now are falling for the okie doke, the trick, the delusion that somehow for the black man, that the white woman is his savior, and for the black woman, that the white man is her savior. They got us split. It is what it is.
I don't know. I mean,
Obvious.
we seeing a lot of our brothers looking at white men as their savior.
That's what it leads to. That the whole thing is, don't think that it stops at a level. It goes deeper. It goes to they get you in the gutter, and once they get you to wanting the same sex, you're in the gut. You're stuck. It's over. You done messed up your booty hole. Women done licked too many coochies, and you done too much damage to yourself that you done went into the gutter.
Coochies that ain't been washed in months.
Exactly. It's just the nastiness. And how you living like this? You're just living off of feelings of the skin.
All right,
It's
peace,
not
man.
about sin, it's about skin. It never was sin, it was always skin. The flesh, living in the flesh.
Man,
And not the deeper place, the spiritual place, the soul, the divinity of yourself, your purity. Found in that sacred.
Man, I don't know, man, because in my theory, black men saw some white bitch in the cave somewhere 6,000 years ago and then made a mistake that we still make it to this day. So I don't know.
I don't know about that one, Forecast. What black man went into those icy cold caves in the first place?
Well, you know there was black cavemen. They were dark cavemen.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, when
But
they got
weren't
caught.
like us. They weren't the Negroes. They were just.
I'm just saying when they got caught up out there and then black people started going out, I think it was black men that saw some cave Neanderthal chick was like, oh damn, look at this. You know, they ain't say white bitch, but I'm gonna say white bitch for the they were like, oh, look at this white bitch in this cave over here. You know what I'm saying? And one thing led to another, you know what I'm saying? That's just my theory though.
You know that the Bigfoot does exist, and that's who their ancestor was. They call it the Neanderthal, but the Neanderthal wasn't looking like they depicted. It was actually the what they call that hairy creature. The hairy
Sasquatch.
It was Sasquatch. That's the Neanderthal. So that Sasquatch raped an Asian woman and got her pregnant, and she had a baby. And if you can find him on YouTube, he's very tall. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but if you look at that, I might do a video on it. I have to already do a video on the what did I talk about?
Yo, that's what I wanted to say before we get off here, because it was kind of relevant to what we were saying. You was talking about Tamar Braxton and the dude getting married, the white boy getting married to her, and interview she said, and that was kind of relevant into what Black Megas was kind of asking you. So like, you know.
Yeah, they're using it. You know, Hollywood is a great influence upon people's minds, so they can push this agenda. The black man, the black woman with the white man. You know what I'm saying? They really want to push that hard. And they want our men to be gay. A lot of our men to be weak. Yeah. And that's just the way they set everything up. These people are destructional. And I'm like, we just need, like you were saying, like y'all were talking about before I came up, we need, when we separate, we can have our own town. You know, it just takes finance behind it. And if we put our minds to it and our heads together and but finances together, we can buy a town, you know, and separate and make it what we want to make it, and save our children and save our people. You know, most of our people that want to be, you know, get out of this mess.
Yeah. All right, so Lightbearer, I don't mean to cut you off because I gotta go in a second, but I want to show you some. It's based off what you were just saying, because I want to show this, and then we're gonna give our closing statements, because I want to show something a little bit more positive, even though it's like something else, and then I'm gonna show something that we need to do, you know. So a black-owned business, they trying to, you know, hate on the sister business. I'm gonna skip through it.
Ivan Well, black woman, successful
woman of color,
business entrepreneur, Carolina, for $10,000 and 3 school buses for a white neighbor, again terrorizing her and vandalizing of property. When she first visited the property, and later during the closing of the land, she felt something was off in the predominantly white neighborhood, but forged ahead with her plans. During the closing, Ms. Pittman encountered an elderly white man who lived across her property, who she said, and I quote, had already given me weird vibes. But there were no indications of his intolerance. About a week after closing, on September 23rd, she returned with her mom to drop off the buses. This time, she said, the man approached them and asked, "Why are you guys here? Are y'all looking for shade?" Returned with her parents a week after dropping the buses off. The neighbor's behavior became more violent. He sat over there and had his gun out the whole time, she said. He was like, "Get the F off of my lawn," and that we need to get them effing buses off of his lawn. So basically saying my land was his. She then noticed her buses had been vandalized. The glass windows were broken. Racial slurs were etched. The man prominently displayed. Images of the damage can be seen here on Ms. Pittman's GoFundMe page, where she is raising money to help recoup her losses and buy more unrestricted land right around that racist SOB. Pittman and
all right, so pretty much she was trying to make a home like hair business thing where like they come to you and they do your hair or whatever, you know, for people who couldn't travel. And then the white dude like vandalized the place that she was at, and then the bus that she got to, you know, fix up or whatever, and he vandalized it. So you know, she still, and that goes into like where you create your businesses and women of color own, and trying to be around people who don't love you and people, you know what I'm saying, like telling you to get off. And you know, you got to expect to, you know what I'm saying, do this. So, but let me show y'all one last thing, and then y'all can comment on this and that, and then give y'all closing statement, because I want to show something in favor of, like, you know, black.
Try Wawa's new panini.
Something that y'all both mentioned, you know what I'm saying. So I want to say something that is positive. If they stop playing all these ads.
To a big boost for Black-owned businesses, but many of the business owners say that support is needed year-round, not just in February. Yasmin Gandam reports.
It's been a hard road, just like having to discount everything.
Tilda Ravinga owns a fashion design company, but she has been forced to close her business due to a sharp decline in support.
It was really heartbreaking to close my business. I'm still in the process of closing it. I haven't like shut down completely. I still have like a bunch of stuff I need to sell.
Ravinga says she hasn't sold anything in months, a stark contrast from 2021 when her business saw a 300% surge in sales during the peak of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Black Lives Matter. I had like a lot of mixed emotions when it was happening. I was like, are people only doing this because they feel bad? Are they only supporting me because they feel bad? Or is it because they actually like want to support me as a person?
Others say it's not enough for people to show their support during Black History Month, but to actively seek out Black businesses, like this fashion designer who uses her colorful and printed clothing to pay homage to her Nigerian heritage.
Intentionally going out to support Black businesses, finding them online, because you can also you can get lost in the list of everything, but using the hashtag, trying to find Black businesses and trying to support them, like putting the money in the Black community is really, really important now, tomorrow, and other days to come.
A survey by Statistics Canada found that in 2022, 35% of Black-owned businesses indicated they were in a worse position than during the Black Lives Matter movement. That's compared to 27% for all businesses as a whole.
Inflation is causing, hardship on Canadians, and everyone's trying to save a dollar where they can. So I think that is also being reflected into, what we're seeing in terms of sales for Black-owned businesses.
Amid the financial hardship, some people have found creative ways to support the Black community. This tattoo artist has been raising money to tattoo Black folks for free in February.
Historically, it's been harder for Black people to access
Mulatto.
or a person of color. So they fit in with the show, I guess.
Y'all know that we never tattooed ourselves before we started integrating with these people. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They
yeah.
were always into all that ink and the skin, and I mean, Black people do. We do. We do degenerate stuff. To me, that's degenerate.
All right, hold on. Let me finish playing the rest. And then I'm gonna let y'all give y'all statements on it, and we're gonna close out.
And also with Black History Month, it comes with a lot of grief and a lot of, family trauma that you're learning about and ancestral trauma. And I just wanted to do something nice for the community.
Moving forward, these business owners are asking customers to think of them year-round, a movement they're calling Black 365. Yasmin Gandam, CBC News.
All right, so yes, they're like, people only supported during times of tragedy and
yeah.
But so all right, so I'm gonna let since Black Magus came on here, Black Magus, you go ahead, and then we will go to Lightbearer, and then I'm gonna get my closing thing, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Another FBA thing, right? Like they like talking about when racism hits you and you start looking for that Black protection. Well, where were you before? Like, you should be for Black people 24/7. And I have to say, like, this gonna be an unpopular opinion, but it's true in a sense that I have nothing against the Nigerian sister, and of course I want her to be able to support herself, support her family, and do her business. But Black business is not just patrons serving Black businesses. It's also Black businesses patronizing other Black businesses. It's also Black businesses putting their collective funds together to fund Black programs in the Black community. Like, people just talk about shop Black, but it's not just about shop Black, because when you just shop Black, well, what happens when that Black business has a building fund that has to go to a white bank, right? What happens when their distribution is through white distributors and you're buying out all the products, so they got to get more product in, or some of their products come from white people? Like, being Black and doing Black means Black and Black only, Black legitimately. Now, I understand that we can't get everything from only Black sources. That's fine, but you should make that the most minute amount of business that you do. And when again, here we go with the coalition, right? Like, we got this. What the hell is that? What's the girl from the latest Spider-Man movies who they give all the hype to and call her a Black woman? Oh man, I don't even know her name.
Zendaya or some shit.
Zendaya. Like, that's exactly who the hell I thought I just seen, man. And you could tell that she's just keeping on. She's trying to talk about things using the hit words to get people in. And so this here is going to be the very most unpopular opinion on this, but it has to be said. I am no longer speaking up or out for any Black person who just arrives out of nowhere, especially if mainstream media quickly puts the spotlight on them because they're talking about racism. Because too many times our people are misled without seeing things for being the farce that it is. So first off, why would that first sister go buy land and property like that in a majority white place? Like, why would you even do that? So it comes back onto the ranch where they're supposed to be ranchers here in Colorado. They got the cameras fast. They didn't get them as slow as people think. They got them fast, and I got firsthand account of what that is and what's going on with it. It's a farce. Don't believe in everything that you see, because then you negate looking for the facts. And when we look for the facts and things, we get some truth. We get some semblance of what the hell is going on. We have to stop being emotional and we have to be logical. We have to put our 2 cents together and actually do the work before we give anything an ounce of breath. We can't keep running, around looking for who to save. We have to know who stands with us. That way we're not wasting our time, efforts, and energy trying to save those who not only don't want to be saved, but are actually just there to get our energies poured into them so that they can take that and run away with it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, my brother Black Magus. Lightbearer.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of what Black Magus just said about trusting those who the media quickly will give attention to. I remember one of the elders that I really looked up to because he has, passed on so much knowledge to our people, right? You would never see him on a CNN. You would have never seen him on any news channel. But in those days, you did see Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and so on and so on. But he was they really couldn't handle what they were talking in the mainstream, right? So what that elder had to say was, is if you can tell who is true and who's not true, right? By just what you said, Black Magus, by how fast the media will give them attention. And the fact that the media is giving them attention, it tells you whose side they are on. Plus, this man bashed Black women. Anything about Black women, he always bashed. But all of a sudden, he's the FBA. But at the same time that he's FBA, he's got foreign family members that are on more of the white persuasion. And he's got a white wife because she comes from a white woman, right? So that in itself, what he said has come out of his mouth. Let's show and prove what he shows and proves. What you can obviously see about this man. No one should have to you should believe them the first time when they tell you who they are. And what they're about. So that's how I feel about that part. And that's why I never really, in a way, he pulled me in because my cousin was, boasting his Hidden Color DVDs and stuff like that. But after a while of listening to him and listening to the old stuff he used to talk about, I came to the conclusion that this is somebody that just isn't on the same page as I am, at all. So I didn't forget the other stuff. Black Magus, can you go over a little bit what you were talking about?
Just talking about Black businesses are not just supposed to be taking the money from the Black community. They're all supposed to be putting it back into the Black community and into other Black businesses.
Yes, that's what the coalition is. That's why we have to come together and ensure that it's by us, for us, and everything circulates back to us. But what I was going to say about the lady that you said moved around this old man, I mean, when you think about, because I've been land hunting. I went land hunting and I found this land. It was a perfect spot. It was like maybe about 100 acres, 100 and something acres of land. And it had an old house on it, right? A whole big house. But all of this land and neighbors around me, right? Around it. But it was on the Tennessee, part of the land was on Tennessee border, and the other part of it was in Kentucky. So it was perfect. So that's how big the land was. But the government owned the, because it was on what they call it, Columbus Lake. I forgot the name of that. Columbia, Lake Columbia, or something like that, where the University of Columbia is in Kentucky, or in.
Is that on the outskirts of what's the military base? Fort Knox.
Yes. It's
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But it's
Yeah,
in the mountains. But there's a Columbus Lake, a water called Columbus, the river, the lake called that runs all through that area, that part of Kentucky, part of Tennessee. You know what I'm talking about?
yes, because right outside Fort Knox is Clanville, and right around Lake Columbia is Clanville.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're being strategic, okay, you got to think. Like I said, I've went hunting for land, and me and my friend, we also thought about towns, and we thought about towns that we could take over after a certain amount of, like a short period of time, because we looked at the number of white people that lived in that town. It was a small number, and you got to think about their age. Like she's in a good spot. If she got that land cheap, that old man ain't gonna be a problem for long, you know, because he's an old man. You see what I'm saying? When he passes, she can buy his land. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if she did research, but I think, you know, I don't think bad about her decision, because I too went hunting and searched and took a lot of things in consideration to, you know, with these white people, because that's where you're going to find the land, you know. And a lot of times there's destruction that they're doing to themselves that they're not going to be around long to be able to sustain or stay in that land. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, when you look, like she might get lucky and he could croak, and then she can buy his land. Like you said when you was reading about it, that she was looking to get more land, right? And buying land all around this old man. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So
but
there's
yeah,
a possibility that she could, you know, win in the end. You know, that's, to me, it's not a bad move. I mean, she's putting up with a lot, but I'm up for a good fight any day. You know, especially if it's something I believe in and I want. You know, so.
yeah, definitely. And I appreciate you for coming on here, Library. I appreciate it, Black Magus. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to your like when you go live on IG. I'm trying to stay up on it. I don't get like notifications on there, so like I'll be trying to just check in. So like if you
I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet because I was like 2 weeks behind on some cracker work, but this week is actually the deadline, so I'm definitely going to be able to pour energy into getting that next live ready so that I could hopefully have it up by either the end of going towards the end of the week, not the weekend of next week, or that weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and just anytime you on there, you know what I'm saying, I try to pay attention more, you know what I'm saying, just so I can be on it, you know what I'm saying. And shouts out to my brother Bobby who be on there. And I appreciate you, Lightbearer. Lightbearer be going live, so y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Lightbearer channel. And
So Black Maggot, you're on Instagram Live?
Yes, sis.
Okay, so where
my
do I
my
go?
my Instagram, like my Instagram is actually just this name itself, but that that page is so shadow banned. I mean, you can find it, but as Forecast was saying, like trying to see my stuff, like you won't really see my stuff until like maybe a few days later, if you see it at all. But my organization, Black Family Vanguard, I don't think that one is shadow banned, because I make sure that I go soft on the things that I put out so that it doesn't get shadow banned. But I do put out some information on there, and that's usually where I like trying to put my lives up at, especially since on Instagram my Black Magus account has been banned from going live.
Yeah, I think Facebook did me like that. They were like, this person, they told StreamYard, this person is not allowed to go live.
yeah, that's the, you know, that's the purpose of like our own platforms. But like, yo, so shout out to Ben Uko who was trying to develop that, and Koku, I guess, who was trying to develop that. But I appreciate y'all for coming on here, and y'all subscribe to Black Magus, and y'all try to find his Instagram. Y'all subscribe to Lightbearer. Her channel is in the her channel. She commented in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to her channel. I appreciate everybody that came on here. You know what I'm saying? Cassandra, Erica, Real Black Gentleman, Bobby, and everybody else who came in here. A couple of trolls came in here. I appreciate your patronage. Melanated Goddess, shouts out to our Melanated Goddess. She came in here for a few. Bakari, and everybody else who came in here. And I thank y'all for coming on here. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
Exactly. Thank you, Forecast.
Thank you,
Black Maggot.